straight off the bat, I just want to say I think this was a very good chapter. Probably one of the better conclusive chapters that we've gotten post Onigashima. And I do think that the conclusion to Wano has been good so far. I know a lot of people have been feeling like the conclusion has been rushed, but if this chapter made me feel or expect anything, it's that we still have at least a few chapters left on Wano. And I'm definitely going to go into what I think will happen once we get back from this huge month-long break towards the end of this video, so make sure you guys stick around. So before the chapter even starts, we get really cool color spreads by Oda promoting the upcoming movie One Piece Film Red and the game Odyssey. I always love seeing new art from Oda. It's always really incredible. I feel like it's kind of a gift that he's giving to us, the fans, before this incredibly long break. So the world government is freaking the fuck out. Luffy, Law, and Kid have just taken down 2 emperors of the sea that have been reigning over the Grand Line for decades. The Gorosei are trying to censor the amount of information that is getting leaked to the world, but are unable to do so because of communications being cut off from Wano. Big News Morgans is taking advantage of this and preventing the world government from spreading their propaganda and getting the real story out there. And I think we all know that the real story is definitely more exciting than whatever the world government would have come up with. For some reason, they're saying they wanted to take out the D in Luffy's name on his wanted poster. At least I think they were talking about Luffy. If you guys think it's somebody else, let me know. But it's kind of weird to me because the D has been in Luffy's name forever. He's already famous. Everybody knows it's Monkey D. Luffy. So why would they want to take it out now? Like, what would that change? If the world government is anything right now, it's disorganized and lacking in coherence. Originally, when I saw the announcement of the new wanted posters for Luffy, Law, and Kid all being 3 billion, I thought that maybe Kid and Law were the new emperors, which personally doesn't really make too much sense to me. But Oda is very smart, and I think what he did in this chapter makes a lot more sense. I mean, I personally cannot imagine Beppo being a commander or his crew being a Yonko crew at all, and I don't think Kid has enough alliances in the world and enough people backing him up to really live up to that Yonko status. I do think it's good that Luffy's bounty is slightly above Blackbeard's. I definitely think that Luffy deserves to have a higher bounty, but this still works and makes sense to me. Looking at it from the Gorosei's perspective, it kind of makes sense because the way they see it is that Luffy, Law, and Kid took out the emperors together, kind of putting them all in the same spectrum. So the huge after party has finally begun after one of the biggest battles of the series, and very fittingly, one of the biggest parties in the series. I think this is the first party we've had all the way since back at Fishman Island, which is kind of crazy in retrospect. I mean, that was what, like a decade ago at this point, so it's very fulfilling to finally get that huge after party we've been waiting for. I feel really bad for the chef who prepared like this super delicate 6-course meal for everybody on Onigashima, only to have just one person being there to eat it, which of course is Jinbei, giving the chef at least some sort of satisfaction for his hard work. Everybody else was just too impatient and wanted to get the party started, and we can see that displayed perfectly with Yamato, Chopper, and Luffy running down in one of the most beautiful panels of the chapter. Chopper with his cotton candy, Luffy with his meat, and Yamato just in awe at this amazing event happening. I mean, really think about this for a second. Yamato, along with all of these other people, have been living and suffering under oppression for 20 years now. So this really is the first time that they've been able to celebrate freely. Some of these people are younger, they're kids. They were born during the 20-year time period. All they've known their entire life is that oppression, slavery, and suffering under the rule of Orochi and Kaido. So it really elevated the emotional impact this chapter had for me, seeing all of these people with shared trauma come together and feel joy and excitement. On another lighthearted note, it looks like Hiyori and Brook are starting their own band, with Hiyori playing the famous tune Moon Princess that Odin loves so dearly. I also wonder if anybody in the crowd or anybody there in general knows that Hiyori was the Orion. I mean, Hiyori as the Orion was extremely famous throughout Wano, so it's hard to believe that nobody's recognized her. Okay, so I know a lot of people are going crazy over the stuff that happens at the end of the chapter, but honestly, I think what happens next was probably the most hype in the entire chapter for me. So Robin is in the basement of the castle at the Flower Capital, which is Tenguyama's like little hobby room. And as most people suspected, Tenguyama did end up being Odin's father, one of the former shogun of Wano. Apparently, he spent years trapped in that basement, barely being able to escape Orochi and near death. Ashamed of himself for not being able to prevent Orochi from taking over Wano, he considered seppuku on multiple occasions, but he powered through and lived long enough to witness the liberation of Wano 20 years later. In his little underground Hobby Lobby, he created swords, these little dolls, but most importantly, the poneglyph. And if you remember from a long time ago, Robin read the poneglyph on Alabasta, which gave away the location of Pluton. Well, now it has finally been confirmed by Tenguyama himself that yes, the location of Pluton is Wano. It should be clear now that Pluton is not Zunisha, but it does make me wonder, is Pluton a weapon that needs to be controlled by somebody, similarly to how on Fishman Island you need Shirahoshi to control the Sea Kings? And if so, would that person need to have some sort of lineage or connection to the Kozuki clan? Like, could it be Hiyori or Momonosuke? I always thought that Momonosuke might be Uranus, but maybe he's Pluton. I mean, it would make sense if Uranus was in the sky, like on an island or in the moon, given its name. And if Pluton really is a huge battleship, where is it on Wano? How has it been hidden so well for all of these centuries? I also think this, among a few other smaller reasons, is why Wano is so special, and probably why Kaido chose Wano as his home base. It's crazy how the secrets of the ancient weapons are finally being revealed to us after all of these years. But we still have to wait 4 long weeks until we find out where or what it is, along with the events happening outside of Wano. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to encourage you guys to leave a like and sub, and leave a comment down below letting me know you're subscribed so I could welcome you personally to the Alliance. We also have a brand new Sunlight Alliance Discord server, so if you're interested in sharing your thoughts on this chapter with me and the rest of the Alliance, go ahead and click that link in the description of the video. Alright, so now the part everybody's talking about. Greenbull has arrived on Wano, and he is everything I hoped he would be. There was a million theories about Greenbull before he finally got revealed to us in the last chapter. There were theories about him being Zoro's father, there were theories about him having some sort of photosynthesis power that he absorbs sunlight so he doesn't have to eat, and it looks like they were very close because he definitely seems to have a plant-based devil fruit. It's really weird, it kind of looks like Robin's power to sprout limbs anywhere, but in this case it's plants. If I were to make a more precise guess on what his power is, I think Greenbull has the ability to sprout plants from anywhere, as well as use those plants to extract life force out of other creatures. His confidence in his own strength is absolutely terrifying, and definitely puts admirals in a tier above where I thought they were before. I mean, he looks at Luffy's wanted poster, the man who literally just took out the strongest creature in the world, and is just like, oh, I guess I'll take out this guy to impress my boss. He takes out King and Queen with ease, and we even get Queen's skinny form, which Oda hinted to at a previous SBS. I always love it when he does that. Greenbull definitely seems like that kind of badass, no shits given type of character that we kind of all expect the admirals to be, which makes me wonder what kind of epithet of justice Greenbull has. As we know, each admiral displays their own type of justice. To me, it looks like Greenbull would represent loyal justice. I also think Greenbull coming to Wano is how they are going to capture the beast pirates and bring them back to prison. I mean, he's already putting in the order to bring in more battleships to Wano to help him out. But by the time that backup arrives on Wano, I do think Luffy and the Straw Hats will probably be long gone by then. I don't really think there's going to be a huge altercation between Greenbull and the Straw Hats, maybe a short dispute between the Admiral and the Straw Hats, but I do think Greenbull is here more to take out the remaining beast pirates, as well as provide a huge lore dump on what's happening outside of Wano. And let's be real, despite all of his crazy confidence, there is no way Greenbull is stronger than Luffy after all the insane power-ups he got in this arc. He might be stronger than Sanji and Zoro, but definitely not stronger than Luffy. Back at the party, Kid shows up and tries to attack Luffy, saying he's going to kill him, but Luffy just reaches around with his huge rubber arms and gives Kid a big hug, which I thought was kind of adorable, to be honest with you. Kid is actually attacking Luffy because, as we know, Kid wants to take down all of the 4 emperors, and Luffy is now an emperor of the sea. So when Luffy acts surprised, Kid shows Luffy the newspaper, which reveals the new emperors of the sea: Shanks, Luffy, Buggy, and Blackbeard. I had some people in my Discord server telling me that Buggy might be the new emperor, and I was just like, no, like that's funny, but I do not think Oda would do it. And what do you know, he did it. And to be honest, it makes sense. The amount of influence Buggy has on people is kind of insane. I don't think it's far-fetched to assume that he might even have an armada bigger than Luffy's with the amount of influence that he has. I mean, he's not strong at all, so in order to get to that status of emperor, he needs to have a huge fleet backing him up. I'm even more curious to see Shanks' reaction to all this, which I think we will be seeing very soon. Going forward, once we get back from break, I think the chapters that follow will be the events that happened at the Reverie and things that are going on outside of Wano. What Blackbeard is doing, what Shanks is doing, Buggy is doing, the conclusion to the different fights that involve the warlords of the sea, as well as what happened to Sabo and Vivi. I also think we will be learning a little bit more about the Void Century with the reveal of Pluton and where it is on Wano, and how all of that will tie into the Kozuki clan and their role in the Void Century as well as the future. That whole thing of Toki moving everybody 20 years precisely in the future, I think is something that we will get an answer to very soon. I also think that we will be meeting not only Shanks but Vegapunk as well in the upcoming arc. I hope that we will also get the other bounties for the rest rest of the Straw Hats as well, because I really want to see where Zoro is at right now. And of course, I want to get the reactions from the rest of the people the Straw Hats know around the world, especially the Grand Fleet members. Finally, I want to throw out a quick theory, or rather prediction. So Wano was known as the City of Gold, but it doesn't really look like we've seen any crazy amounts of gold on Wano, which makes me wonder, where did all that gold go? Maybe to keep it safe, the Kozuki, the people of the Void Century, hid that gold on Laugh Tale. So that physical treasure of the One Piece that Oda was talking about might not only be something like Binks' sake, but that actual physical gold from Wano as well. I cannot wait to see what happens after this super long break, but we still have a long ways to go. I'm gonna be working hard to bust out content for you guys this month. If you guys want updates, don't forget to join that Discord server. If you guys are interested in learning about possible future seasons of the One Piece live action, I highly recommend checking out this video right here.